Hey, what's up, everybody?
We're doing live streams. So, if you're new, this is what we do every month. And the reason why this happens is because enough of you guys wanted it to and headed over to Patreon. And you guys, some of our guys that watch this are supporting us on Patreon for once a month for at least $1, and that makes just extra stuff like this happen. So if you're interested in that, you can click on, if there's a button here or over there, that'll take you to the Patreon site. Also, there is a link to Drive Tribe, because if you saw the thumbnail, what we're doing is showing off some of you guys' rides. And if you go to our Drive Tribe page, so debossgarage.com/drivetribe, you can throw your ride up there and we'll check it out right now. And also, if you guys are looking for help with your projects, because we get hundreds of comments a day or a week or whatever, kind of what helps us manage that is we've built a giant community. So I don't even know how many of you guys are there now, but on our Facebook group, you can join up there and get help from us, or actually a lot of really knowledgeable guys in the community. Also, buy and sell. If you guys have anything you want or you're looking for, throw it up there. Or if you're selling something, there's a lot of stuff there too. So, yeah.
So yeah, hey everybody. A couple other things to talk about. Rick's open house is this Saturday. So this Saturday morning we're going to the Vineland car show with the Fleetmaster. The gentleman that bought it didn't really get a whole lot of opportunity to drive it last year, actually, because of I think health reasons, whatever. So we're picking him up and bringing him to the car show so we can hang out there at the Vineland. It's right down King Street, and it's for usually it's a youth thing, right? Some sort of youth group somewhere. I don't know. I think.
Oh.
Anyway,
yeah.
That's the Vineland car show. That starts from 9 till 1. We'll be there roughly around 9:30 and heading out around lunchtime. And then we're heading to Port Colborne. You can check out Ozzy's Garage and Truth for Teens. His shop, it's the grand opening. So we'll be hanging out there for the afternoon, and then I got a barbecue after that. So Saturday's busy. But yeah, I hope to see as many of you guys out there as possible, especially at Port Colborne and Truth for Teens. So Rick, love your support and see what's going on there. The Corvette's there. It's all painted up. Looks all beautiful. Yeah. So if you go back in our earlier videos, we had like a maroon Corvette there, 76, something like that. And it's all silver now. The kids did a really good job redoing the seats and that, so really cool. So upper deck youth drop-in. Thanks, Colin. so yeah. Anything else on the go? I think we were gonna go. We talked before about going to Truck Night in Port Colborne Car Show.
Yeah, every other Thursday or every Thursday going on in Port Colborne, there seems to be car shows. We're gonna put all of this stuff up on our events page. You can check that out, debossgarage.com/events. It'll all be there in a minute. I gotta put it up there because all new dates, they shifted everything around. So just for me to get that into our calendar, find out if we can actually go to these. But that's the plan. Is all through the summer, there's pretty well every Thursday.
Yeah.
We have to see what we're picking and choosing what ones we're gonna go to.
Yeah, it's busy summer, but life is good. And before we get too far, I just want to thank Chris and his wife again for putting up with us, building his truck, ripping Stefan's truck apart there in Tennessee. So shout out to his family there. I don't know if Chris is on here or not, but thanks. So yeah. So I hope you guys are doing well. Stefan and Andy and Hoogie all wanted to come tonight, and everybody was busy. It was just the day of the week that Aaron's family is out for the night, so we have a nice quiet night that we can chat. So yeah, if you want to show your ride, go over to Drive Tribe. It's really easy. Go look up Deboss Garage on Drive Tribe, and then you can submit all your pictures and videos and whatever else there. So yeah. Favorite Canadian, that's awesome. I get to meet my favorite Canadian this fall. Hopefully, we got something in the works there. And looking forward to that. So stick to that. So, why did you leave Stefan half a truck to move by himself? Stefan has like 2 tractors and he's got all the equipment in the world, and he had to take it out of the trailer. So all he had to do was tie it to a tree and drive away with the trailer. It's not complicated. I think Stefan sometimes make things more complicated than it has to be. But yeah, we did take the ticks home, but Lyme disease.
I was gonna ask you about that. No one at the border said a thing about you bringing ticks.
They were really good about not checking anything. Like they looked at the trailer so much they didn't even look at the truck. So it was really weird. You know, the truck has a box upside down on it, and they didn't look at it at all. So we brought the ticks home, but 2% of deer ticks actually carry the Lyme disease, and the ticks have to be in you for longer than a day. And if you start getting like a toonie size mark around it, like a white in the middle, red on the outside, then it's time to start worrying. Yeah, but anyway, we did pour lots of rubbing alcohol on him, and I think Stefan got away with it. He didn't get any, and I got the 2. So bye, Stefan. Enjoy your ice creams. Too busy. I can't come. Too busy. Yeah, and there goes. I'm gonna go for ice cream. Zip tie drags. Colin, you want to look that up if you're there? Does anybody know if Roadkill's actually doing anything this year? I haven't heard anything about zip tie drags or Roadkill nights in Michigan. So we'd like to go. We're losing more and more interest in going because you watch the video as to what happened with Roadkill, but I don't know. I'd like to still go, but it's like Discovery took over and nothing's happening. It's like, well, that wasn't very profitable, so we're done. As my feeling for that, actually. I don't know if I'm wrong. If somebody can look that up and comment as to whether Roadkill is happening or not, that I'd like to know. My favorite year of 12 valve, that's 94 to 98. That's the P pump. And avoid the 53 block. The 53 block was made in Brazil, I think, and it is prone to cracking. That's the only one to avoid. But actually the best block is a 24 valve from 98.5 to 2003 or 2002. Converted over to a P pump. We'll be looking for it. We'll be doing that at some point. I have the 24 valve. I have the P pump. I just don't have the time or the money. But anyway, there we go. Why the Mercedes K members? No, it wasn't. We weren't pulling the K members off the Mercedes. We were pulling the Brembo brakes off of it. So those Brembos that we were pulling off the Mercedes are going on Stefan's Midget, the little race car there. So
with the K frames, you're just getting those for Andy. Andy's Tuesley Auto. He's our sponsor. And just helping us out with kind of things we need.
So the first and second tier was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then the last tier was the following Monday, Tuesday for Holly training.
Yeah. And
we had 4 days in the middle with nothing to do. So if we flew down, it didn't make sense for the flights because we'd have to rent a car and the hotel still. So we drove down. It didn't make sense driving home again because it takes a full day to drive home. So we'd have 2 days at home, and then we'd have to go back south again right after that. There was a car show in Pennsylvania. We were trying to make it out. That didn't make sense. The Audi wasn't running, and I'm glad we didn't start until after the Holly training. So we thought, well, might as well do something while we're there. So then we went and talked to Andy and said, what do you need? And he says, well, these K-frames are in high demand. These ones sell really well. These fuse boxes sell really well. And if you can grab some boxes or whatever, they always sell. So figure the 99, that Ford F-250 box, if you look at Ford F-250s, they use the same box from 99 to current, I think. And they might have changed the taillights in the last couple of years. But that's a big span that box is usable. And there's a lot of fleets that just need a clean box again. So yeah.
Lyme disease? No. Yeah, so we covered that. No Lyme disease.
No Lyme disease. I don't think so. Hey, from Vegas, we're planning on going there for SEMA. So, do you know of a place to stay? We're looking for 3 or 4 couples to stay in a house with, like, for the week. And I got to talk to Aaron about that. We're going to finish our paperwork tonight, so because Nancy's on me. But we need to book a house, preferably with like a pool or a hot tub that we can just hang out, kitchen, and at least 3 bedrooms. If you know of anything, comment. Best tools to buy as a young mechanic, ones that you can afford for now. You can always upgrade, make sure that that is what you want to be as if you're young. It's not the greatest job. It's a love-hate relationship. So make sure that you really want to do it before you blow 10, 20 grand on something. But tools with lifetime warranty that are quickly replaced, and then the nitpicky tools, buy the expensive ones, so that you like torque wrenches and impact guns and stuff like that. So yeah, Mastercraft or Stanley. There you go. Don't buy Stanley, because when they break, you have to mail them to Stanley. It's a giant pain, so go back to Mastercraft. Or I had Craftsman, and Craftsman probably has some really big incentives right now because they're trying to make a comeback, even though I think Stanley bought them. But I don't know if Craftsman's more readily available for warranty than Stanley is. But so I think ticks are bad everywhere, and I think somebody said it's because they're spraying a lot less pesticides and that, a lot more controlled, and for some reason the ticks seem to be booming for the last couple of years. But it always seems to rotate bugs. One year the black flies are really bad, next year the mosquitoes are really bad, next year the gypsy moth are really bad and they got to spray for that, and then the next year ticks are bad. So it's just a cycle.
Yeah, but are they a crop pest or just a human pest?
I have no idea. But chickens kill them, and so do
yeah.
Just let a couple random.
That's all you need.
Just get some chickens and let them run around.
Shop kittens.
Yep, and then you get Lyme disease because the chicken ate the deer tick with the Lyme disease and then laid an egg. So, I am a fan of Duramax. Yes, and we are planning a swap. We're putting an LB7 in a 64 C10. I have the truck, I have the frame, I have the engine, I have the transmission, and we are making it into a tow truck. So that is actually a tease. Talking about projects, Mercedes coming along really nice. There's a lot of stuff I changed again. That video's coming up after the Holly training. Rerouted some of the cooling now that we have a sponsor for mandrel bending in the exhaust world. I never knew that there was a mandrel bender somewhere close by, so that's the nice bends without the kinks in it, so we really need to keep that for the cooling.
So that's Lyle's.
Thanks a lot for Lyle. And Lyle just called me 45 minutes ago, and he's bending up the GTO exhaust right now at 6:30. So check out Lyle. They're hard workers, and the fact that he's working at 6:30 and on our stuff is really cool. So I'm going there Wednesday. We're picking up the exhaust. I'm welding it all together, and then we'll get it dipped so that's nice and shiny. But and the GTO right now is doing really well too. We talked about the body shop that did the quarter panels. The owner retired, so his son is actually working in the shop right now. We redid a couple things. He caught a couple little pinholes in that here and there, so it was nice, just a second set of eyes. He checked out the whole GTO on the rotisserie, and he just did a little bit of welding here and there, and he's starting to block the car. So the GTO is looking actually really, really good. The one corner of the roof was rotten. I managed to find a piece in a scrapyard and welded in a whole other piece of the roof. So I'm very, very happy with the GTO. It's once the GTO is done and the Mercedes is done, we're jumping full tilt into the Duramax build, but not until those other 2 projects are done. I can't just start another project. So, and then in between there, I've got my normal repairs for my daily customers that help pay the bills. And then I'm actually working for Canada's Worst Driver for a couple days here and there too. So I'm heading back over there in the morning.
You're not allowed to say that.
I think I'm allowed to say that I'm working there. I just can't tell that the hero cars are, and they're really trying hard with and it's going to be an awesome. I didn't sign anything yet. They just trust me that I'm from the country, and that I take my word. So, if you haven't checked that show out, it's pretty cool. 14 seasons now of Canadians just wrecking cars. So yeah, anyway. From Florida, how's it going? Any interest in my neighbor's 49 DeSoto? Well, I don't really want to pay for it because it'll probably just be lawn art, but I'm happy to park it in my lawn beside the 48 Fleetmaster and start a collection of 40s cars for lawn art. I think my wife's okay with it because it's on the other side of the driveway. Yeah. So, CNN. CNN's back. Hey, CNN. Good to see you, man. What is a good automatic trans to put behind a beefed up 4VT? I like the 4L80 with a standalone controller because it can hold up to pretty much anything, and the fact that it's a little bit more pricey, but really happy that you can with the standalone controller you can change all the shift points, change how hard and soft you want it to shift. You can even put in paddle shifters if you want. Lots of cool stuff. That USS shift, the Bowman controller, worked really well for me. I got nothing bad to say about it. So that's what I would do, and I would do it again actually. So 73 Dodge D200, if it's in good shape, absolutely. Beautiful old trucks. Yeah, the GTO will get to the wedding on time. It'll be running and moving. Like, I can foresee like a little piece of trim or something missing here and there, or something that I can't foresee is going to be missing, but everything to make it to the wedding and back, it will be done. So update on the Silverado. I had a leaking fuel line off the lift pump, so I fixed that. And there's not much else to update, is there?
Well, we want to do a Jake break if we hit our Patreon goal for that.
Yeah.
So that's in the works.
So that would be the next one. There's lots of little stuff that happens with the truck, but I'm not that guy that just drags on and this happened to my truck and that happened to the truck. The truck is running great. We didn't take it to Kentucky only because Stefan wanted to grab that cab for his own self. So because the majority of what was dragged home was for Stefan, we said, well, then you can take your truck. So, and he was okay with that. And it's also nice because Stefan hates me driving his truck as much as I hate him driving my truck. And I generally drive everywhere, to Florida when my wife is with me. So it was nice just riding shotgun for a lot of it and just like shutting my head off and enjoying it. But yeah, the truck's doing great. The speedo's not working, so I still got to look into that. But that's the main thing, yeah. So holy crap. Jason, thank you very much. I didn't have to do that, but yeah, so I get more into if that's the tow truck fund. Thank you very much. That if you guys don't know, I'll get into it a bit more because Jason did that. We bought an air ride bus frame, so it's a kneeling bus, and it was a 2015 frame. So it's got excellent brakes all the way around. It's got the air compressor tank on it, but the bus caught fire. So the entire top of the bus was garbage, the engine was garbage, the transmission was probably okay, but the way I bought it was just the frame without the engine and transmission. The rear airbags are fine, the front airbags were melted, so not a big deal. Really nice link system in the back for the air ride. So we're trying to put maybe like a super single on the back, and then put some really nice rims on it, and then put a patinaed 64 on it. Walking through another scrapyard finding the roof for the GTO, and they had a really nice rusted 63 C10. It was a GMC. I don't know if they're the C10s or not, but anyway, we might trade actually because he wants a clean hood and roof, and this one's perfect. Like, it's beautiful. Wow. So and Andy's on really good terms with them, so if he can work out a deal, we might go that route, and then we're just basically clear coating it and that's it. So tow truck rig in the back with probably a stinger coming out the bottom, and it'll be a really, really cool ride when we're done. And I'm excited to do a swap on a Duramax, only because we've done the Cummins, and the Cummins is pretty much beat to death. It's every single person's put a Cummins in something somewhere. and it's fine. They're great engines. There's nothing wrong with it. But I just want to expand a little bit and go into something else. So build a standalone harness for the Duramax. Figure out what it takes to get the shift on its own. We'll be calling Todd. It's Todd, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Todd in town. He does suburban
Todd
conversions.
in town.
Todd in town. That's probably how he's in my phone because I
Look
don't
him
know
up.
his last name. Todd in town. If you go back to one of our previous videos of
He brought the Duramax GMC Yukon.
yeah.
In.
And
So
we
search
talked
for
about
that. That's Todd.
Yeah,
And
So he,
find out how
he builds his own kits. He puts the Yukons on a truck frame, but he does build the body lift to get the body to cover the Allison transmission. So you get a nice Yukon or a Suburban with a Duramax in it. And he actually got the Ministry of Ontario, the emissions yahoos to okay it. So he legally has his truck on the road.
Oh, really?
Unlike some other people. It's legal. I got a sticker for it, but there's ways to get around it. But anyway.
Yeah, when there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah. 4BT and a GTO. That's one of those cars that, like, GTO is worth money, and as soon as you do that, it's gone. So if it was a rusted out, dilapidated one, maybe, but, like, some things you just gotta keep. You gotta keep stock. So. Suggestion on which overdrive manual transmission behind a 4BT and an 80 C10 used for towing up to 8,000 pounds. NV 4500, 100%. It bolts right up to the bell housing. Get yourself a Dodge bell housing off of the 6BT and put the NV 4500 in it. I have it behind mine and I love it. The NV 5500 or 56 or the 6-speed just splits the gear, so you still have the same overdrives. 4500 would be perfect for 8,000 pounds. Did I do something to piss off Roadkill, or did they not just not like Canadians? So when we
I don't know. Maybe they saw our video.
yeah, no doubt they did. And again, it has nothing to do.
I don't know if that would have pissed him off or not.
I don't think it had anything to do with Finnegan or Freiberger. It's just the bigwigs, the ones running the business. Does this make sense financially? That's what we're doing, right?
Yeah.
They had a
we don't know what those. We're only speculating.
Right. So
we're fans. We're just fans.
Yep.
So
when we went down to Florida, we tried to meet up with Finnegan. It didn't work then, so we were talking to him already, and our schedules didn't line up. So we like I had his I don't know if we just over Instagram, didn't have his cell phone number or anything, but we were communicating back and forth, and then it didn't end up happening. So and then this trip, I don't know why, I told him we had the rims while we were in the yard, and they never got back to us, and then they called us after the yard was closed, and then the timing just didn't work out. So it was kind of annoying because we did kind of go out of our way to go grab those rims, and then they didn't need them anymore. So that's why all the shots are in the video of tripping over those 8-bolt rims, and we put his name on them and everything, just kind of egging him on. I hope he sees the video. I commented on one of his Instagram posts today to get him to watch it. But it's all in good fun. They're great guys. It's just everybody's busy and you're stressed and you got like
yeah, I mean, I'm sure they get like hundreds of people and dead ends, and obviously if
right, but we're Canadians, we can't lie. I had the rims.
Yeah.
I sent them a picture of the rims.
I know.
But yeah, it's all good. So I heard the Vans V8 and rear end are good for Camaros. Yeah, that's great. I don't know. Dilapidated.
We should head over to Drive Tribe for a minute
Sure.
and just check out some of what you guys have sent in. This first one here.
Is that a wheelbarrow?
Oh wait, yeah. All original.
I love it.
2005 Titan. It's got a nice light bar there. I don't know if he's the one that won our giveaway. This guy, I used his for the thumbnail.
Yeah, Firebird. So that is a 68. Is it a Firebird? It's hard. The roof is cut out of it.
He said more. He's from Australia.
Oh, 78 Trans Am. I'm just looking at the
Yeah.
front end. That makes more sense because the back half, I never realized how similar the front still looked without the grill on it. Nice.
Yeah, 78. Imported to Australia 30 years ago when the laws here made you convert the car
30 years
to
ago.
right-hand drive.
Can you send that?
Oh, wow.
Can you send that over to the Mercedes owner and to Hoogie? 30 years in the making.
Wow. So he's converted this over to right-hand drive?
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's
I think
awesome.
you could just see the steering wheel.
Would that make this... Did they make these right-hand drive ever?
Probably not.
So that'd be the first and only one.
All I have to do is put the dash in upside down. I don't see where the problem is. Nice.
97 3500 two-wheel drive automatic, swapping it to four-wheel drive 5-speed with a 5-inch
Beautiful.
suspension lift. Nice. Check some of this out.
Black on black on black on black. Very cool.
Nice.
Yeah, keep us up to date on that one. That one looks like a sick build. That'll look incredible. It was nice driving around Bowling Green and Tennessee and seeing the nice old trucks still on the road. And a couple of them in the dealerships too. It was like, oh, I don't know. Beautiful. Oh, what's that?
Spent most of the month swapping out the rear end of a 66-67 Le Mans. Here we go.
This left me.
High water mark for mileage. Whole 10 miles round trip. I just have to figure out why she's overheating.
Not having a fan shroud on it will really allow it to pull air from around the rad rather than through the rad. So make sure that you got the plastic shroud on there. And yeah, I don't know. Clogged rad. Best to take your heat gun and with it running and overheating, making sure that the top and bottom rad hoses are different temperatures and that it's the water pump is flowing nice.
Oh, sad week. Camaro sold and Durango, Canadian winter beater.
Nice. You didn't fix that, did you? I hope you didn't fix that. I see a lot of Bondo there. I hope you didn't fix that. They do sell new fenders. That's terrible.
I'm not gonna. I won't be able to play this. You guys won't hear it. So first bit of life out of the Hemi.
Ooh, nice.
But if you guys want to hear that one, check it out. And we got
And
an
the
update
van.
on the van. Yet another update. Trial and error with the gear vendors and driveline shakes. First pick and first draft.
So if you guys haven't been following this van from Greg, he's been basically with us since the beginning, and it's always cool to see what his updates are throughout the month. And he went with the gear vendors, divorced overdrive last time, and kind of sucks. He's got vibration issues. That's too bad. But sick build, really, really cool. Well, there's your problem. 3 degrees, buddy. To get that angle a little better.
Wow, big tip from Vacuum.
Vacuum, thank you very much.
Thank
You
you.
guys are awesome.
You left a comment up here.
Oh, 24 valve head on the Silverado. So the crappy thing is with the 12 valve, I'd love to just yank the head off and put a 24 valve head on there, but the injectors are in a different spot. So then the injectors don't spray into the dish and the piston. So you have to swap the pistons too yet. So I actually had to fix a truck for somebody, and it was cheaper for me to buy a complete 24 valve because I needed the pump and the computer off of it. Because it was a good runner, than it was for me to just buy the pump. So I have a block. So basically, I have to take the timing cover and the P pump off of my engine, put it on his, and then drop it into the truck. So as much as I don't want to pull the engine out of my truck again, more than likely I will, just because I want to do the P-pump 24 valve conversion. So I'm happy with the truck as it is, but the Patreon stuff allows us to do stuff like that and experiment and see whether it was worth it and how much time and stuff it takes to get into it. So that's kind of what we're hoping to do. But yeah, one project at a time. So the boss keeps the females filthy. So yeah, my wife knows if if I'm touching something I'm not supposed to, because I kind of leave marks everywhere. Yeah, I don't know if this chair. I was in my good clothes, and Aaron's building a new computer.
I'll tell you about that in a minute.
Yeah, so he's building a Hackintosh, and I made
this
the
Miata's
chair
in Manitoba, by the way.
Nice.
Off-road version.
I
want to see what's under here. What is going on there?
That was an art project at school. Just paint brushes, just screw this one color stuff. See you, no fish. Love so that was my first truck. Was an '87 S10. I had the smaller mirrors. I didn't have the big mirrors. And that's a 90, like an early 90s. Mine was an 87. It was the different grill. I had the plastic grill, but that was the best truck. I love that truck so much. And of all the vehicles, I don't really get emotionally attached to anything, but I really wish I never sold that S10. Just, I don't know, just to bomb around. It was good on fuel. It was the best thing that a 16-year-old with a fresh license can get. No lies. Nice 350. Is it 350? Yeah. Looks like it.
Sweet.
So.
All right. More questions here?
Yeah, what's my favorite diesel? So, it's pretty cool. For a bigger truck, big old truck, I would say like a 3406 Cat, great little engine. The C15 single turbo was a great engine. For like a medium duty truck, which is what I had in my service truck, was a DT466 mechanical. Very simple engine, wet sleeve. You can rebuild that thing in a weekend, pop the sleeves out, put some new pistons in it, get the head done, and you got yourself a brand new engine. For pickups, obviously the 5.9 Cummins, because they're simple, they're inexpensive, they're all over the place, they're cheap to maintain. And then I'm really liking that 2.5 little diesel in the Mercedes. I'm bombing around in that little D300. So that's an OM602. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
And that's a 5-cylinder diesel. I swear that thing actually makes diesel while you drive. That needle like barely moves. So I dropped off an engine block at the engine builder today, and they're laughing because I drive something different every time. I'm like, oh, I got to test drive a truck. Might as well like take something somewhere and make it purposeful, right? So I show up in the little Mercedes, like, who is this knob? Smoke pouring out the back. I was like, oh yeah, it's Rich. We should have known. Pop the trunk. there's a big block in the back. Or like, oh, you never surprise us, Rich. And the sticker guy too, Shane, was in a parking lot. He's climbing into his truck. I pull up to him. He's like, what? Oh yeah, that's Rich. Yeah, of course he's driving a Mercedes now. So, can you re-aim the injectors? Like they're into the head. You can't just aim your injectors different. I don't think. I'll have to look into that. But basically, you're going from the center of the piston to the side of the piston, I think, because they're all the way over one way. So, a 76 G10 van, and I purchased another 350 to drop in it. However, the dipstick is on the passenger side stock. Setup is on the driver's side. Routing this under the hood. That's going to be tricky. I would try and make that work from, rather than routing it to the other side. I think I would try to find some space to make it fit from the on the passenger side. So, I've been watching your videos for a while now. Seen your Mercedes 5-spot video. Have you thought of doing an OM606? That would be great to see with the manual pump. So the 606, basically it's just whatever comes in the door. Like, I'm not gonna look for a 606. I think, is the 606 a better engine? I'm not sure, but the point of that Mercedes was to eventually put the drive line in probably the 48 convertible that we have out back. And I just at the Canada's Worst Driver, they have a guy there that does like art. They really do amazing things with these vehicles. Last year he did a whole crocodile on the side of a car. So he sprays spray foam on it, and then he paints the spray foam, so he carves out the spray foam, and it looked like the teeth and the scales and everything. It was amazing. So I was talking to him, and he does the Woody paneling kit on he did that to a vehicle before too. And talking to the other crew members, they're like it looked more wood than the actual wood kits. So it's like a mahogany that you put on the wood kits. And I looked into that, and I'm trying to think. The 48 Fleetmaster, before we get too far, is too far gone. It's not worth restoring because it's just too much work. So basically, there's like the floor is all there, but it's soft. So basically, just put some fiberglass over top of it, make it pass safety, and have some fun with it. The entire life of this car will get maybe 10,000 kilometers on it over the span of 10 years. So there's no point in spending big bucks on it when we're not going to go with it anywhere anyway. I see that as pointless. So pick up a cheap Mercedes. I like the diesel. It's like, okay, a 5-cylinder would look pretty good in the front of that hood. It would look like it kind of fit. It grabs attention because you see it. And I'm like, I don't know what to do with the body. Should we do some stupid patina or what? It doesn't fit the convertible. It's more of a pickup truck thing. So I thought, well, we'll paint it and then we'll put a wood kit on it. But if he can do the wood kit out of the styrofoam and do the grains and everything on it, I'm really excited to get him into the shop and try that. So hopefully that's next summer type of project. But that's Andronigo, I think that's his name. Super cool guy, really cool guys at Canada's Worst Driver, and it's neat seeing a whole different, like a whole other side of the automotive world that we're not really used to. Like, I'm like, what do you do with an art degree? And I'm like, that is really cool. I want to learn how to do this art, right? It's pretty neat. So, I built an 86 S15 with a 283 and 5-speed. Great truck. And if you want to get into mechanics, buy like a little old Ranger, like a square body Ranger or a S10. And they're simple to work on and so much fun, yeah. What chip are you going to put in the C10 Duramax? So, that depends again on budget. I would love to build that one completely stupid. So Chevan Boy is going to do a rendering for us. He's probably working on that now or in the next week or so. So you guys can kind of have an idea of what we have in mind for that. Because of the tow rig coming out the back out of Andy's grandfather's truck, we're gonna put 2 stacks behind the cab, and I'm not usually a stack guy, but I think it would work good with this. And then because of that, I think the first things would try to do, rather than Y-pipe it off a single turbo, is to put a twin turbo on it and then go from there. But again, that depends where we are at the end of summer and finances and whatever else. So. And it gets complicated now because am I paying for it? It's Andy and I are going in on it because it's his grandfather's truck, and he can actually use the truck to go pull vehicles around town, and it works great for derbies and stuff, having his name on the side. So it makes a lot of sense to use it as a marketing tool for him. So, but then if we can't use YouTube money, then it becomes an asset for Deboss Garage, and it's stuff like that gets really complicated in the background. Aaron will make the videos on it, and that's fine. We'll get an income off of that, but that pays for his time to edit the videos. That has nothing to do with actually financing the truck. Whereas like the Audi is an asset from Deboss Garage. So if something were to happen, somehow selling it would pay back if Deboss Garage, whatever. It gets really complicated, but that's what we deal with in the background. So
we just want to build cars.
We just want to build cars and have fun, and somehow, you know what, I really don't care who pays for what, or I'm not attached for them. I just like, here, you want to build it together, you drive it. If I need it somewhere, like I'd love to pull the Audi with the C10 around to the next Project Car Challenge. I think Freddie was hinting that August he might have one. But there's no way that the tow truck will be done by then, but maybe next summer in the winter type of thing. So it's going to be a quicker build than most, just because it's not a clean build, and it's, yeah, well, but I say that. I fear pain. I wrestled a 5.3 with a 4L60 in the wife's Mazda. I bet she loved that. The Tahoe was pretty rough by the time I'm done with it too. That back did not look good. So we gotta do what we gotta do to fix our trucks. That's right, Angie. I just swapped a 12 valve into an 83 C10 with NB 4500. Your mileage is gonna be about 18-19 miles to the gallon. It's not 30 miles to the gallon. It depends what your rear end is. I love all these guys. I got 30 miles a gallon. Yeah, well, bring your truck to a museum because I need to look at it and figure out why. You're carting around 9,000 pounds. You get 30 miles a gallon. No, you don't. The OM605 is a better engine, and the OM606 can create some really good horsepower and also sounds lovely. There are a lot of videos on YouTube in the UK and Europe and more. So what about the 602 that I have? Is that just I didn't get the right engine? See, when I looked on Wikipedia, I just typed in 91 300D diesel, and the 617 came up, which is why I said in the video that's what I have. I never looked at any tags on the engine. I just went on Google, and Google lied to me. So anyway, tell me about the 602, because I own a 602 and not a 605 or 606, but still have a 91 Civic sedan. Nice. Whatever happened to your biodiesel greenhouse project? So we might have to get into that again. When I bought it, fuel was at like $1.30 a liter, and it made sense to do it at the time, so I bought the biodiesel processor. As soon as I bought it, fuel dropped back down to below $1 a liter. So then, weighing the options, it didn't make sense to make your own biodiesel. So now that we're back up to $1.30, $1.40 a liter, that's one of those things where back when I bought it, I was still in construction. I was driving everywhere, but now that I'm in my shop at home, I don't drive that much. So I have the processor, I have a bunch of oil, and I'd still really like to make a batch just to see what it's about. But as you guys know, there's projects in the shop. I got to get the Mercedes and the GTO done. There's deadlines on stuff. There's that body swap Dodge. Can't get it running for some reason. So like the guy wants his truck back, and I can't piss around making biodiesel to save me a couple $100 when I can make more money like actually working on stuff in the shop. And that little 5-cylinder Mercedes that I have dropping off engine blocks is great on fuel if I don't have to drive the Silverado around everywhere, right? So all in time, if we're able to go full-time YouTube, absolutely there'll be, what do you want to do now? Let's make our own fuel. We made our own vehicles, let's make our own fuel for it now, right? And it would work perfect in the Mercedes and the truck.
Well, that was part of his question. The other part was, should they know anything about biodiesel if they're planning on switching? Like, how hard is it to...
There's nothing to, you don't have to do anything to switch it into a mechanical diesel. It'll run on a mechanical diesel. You just have to make it proper. So keep in mind that it gels in the winter, turns into like a mayo, so you don't want to use it when it's cold. But
which also kind of limits how much you can use it in Canada.
Right. So Stefan should sing more in his videos. There was did I have him singing more? The You've Got Lyme Disease. He had a whole song going.
Time.
Oh yeah, because I must have not hit record.
Yeah, song.
I was recording it and I thought I was, but I'm not looking at the camera because I don't want him to stop. But he had a whole song for You've Got Lyme Disease. Funny. Yeah, it's funny because there was no ticks in him, but like I physically had to pull 2 ticks out of me. And he's laughing, stop being a baby, and then he'd like feel a bead of sweat roll down his leg. I got a tick. Stefan's funny that way.
He's not watching now. So
no, I could talk about him because I think he's busy eating ice cream. Yeah, sandwich and some ice cream. So, what's going on, old Colorado guy? Yeah, Angie, I have big plans with a little budget. So do we. It's always, that's what the GTO was, you know? We're going to stay right within budget. No problem. Nice. Epic Industries. Starting a racing tank. Ripsaw idea build. I got a 12 valve. Thinking of going diesel over electric. any reason why that's a bad idea. That's not worth going that route for drivetrain. You know what? We were thinking of building a diesel over electric a vehicle, and it might still happen at some point, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like, give it a go, because instant torque, and if you the batteries are the most expensive thing, but I think go for it. It sounds really cool, actually. Doug Ford's been elected. Cheap beer and cheap diesel for everyone. No need to biodiesel. Right. So.
There's Stefan. He is watching.
Oh, Stefan, how's the ice cream? I pulled one out of you. I know. Thanks, buddy. So, Stefan is held for review.
Oh, because he says, yeah, I am a dick. Or, yeah, I don't know, watching.
Yeah. So the GTO is actually, I'm very excited with the GTO. Actually, as we're speaking right now, Lyles is building the exhaust for it, and I actually am picking up the trailer from Stefan on the way home, and we'll probably be pulling the GTO to the paint booth. It will have paint on the inside and the bottom of it by the end of the week, and I'm trying hard to have paint on it by the end of the month, but I don't think that's going to happen. But in the beginning of July, it'll be having the paint on it. So the body job is coming along very nice. All the welding is done. I had to replace a corner of the roof. That little roof ended up being a chunk of Bondo about that big, and we ended up just cutting it way back and replacing that corner of the roof, only because a new roof would have set us back like $600-800. So yeah, we always hated the cheesy plastic bumpers so much. I've already thrown them away. Okay, I think he's talking to somebody else. Thanks, Smoke 42. We appreciate that. They're having a lot of fun doing it. I'm having a 6.2 problem. I advanced the fuel too far and it ran away. Ouch. So like $6,000. So I turned the fuel back and now it won't start. $6,000 is not good. The diesels are too heavy to run $6,000. So I think you did some damage. I rebuilt, and I didn't rebuild. When I was in, I was still an apprentice. I was young. I was stupid. Right when the 5.912 valves came out, we had a Lay's chip truck driver, and he blew the turbo, and it filled the exhaust. He goes, I've lost a lot of oil, or there's oil coming out my exhaust, and it's a big truck, and it's a long exhaust, so it takes a long time for that oil to get back there. I saw the truck, checked his oil, and there was no oil on the dipstick. So I told him, you better tow it. I don't have enough oil with me. I'm just like, it's not far, but we'll tow it to the shop, bring it in, take a look at it. The turbo completely disintegrated. And what it did was put all the oil in the exhaust, and it also put it in the intake. So they told me, okay, it needs a turbo. Put a new turbo on it. Not a big deal. Pop it on. Fire it up. So I did that. Put the turbo on. Change the oil. Change the fuel filter just while we're at it. The service manager drove it outside, and it sounded great. It sounded great at an idle, and he snapped it, and the air that the turbo creates goes through the intake, and because the intake was covered in oil, it atomized the oil, and it ran away on the oil that was in the intake. And not having a clipboard with us, not having the intake off, it ran away and it wrecked the engine. Like it would run after that, and it sounded like a bag, and it ended up bending rods. It destroyed the entire engine. So simple, stupid mistake. When the turbo goes, you have to take that intake off and get it flushed and cleaned or replace it. But once they run away, there's no real coming back for it. That's why there's governors. So. What is the best rust preventing product? Go down south. Just move. Under oil it yearly, and by somebody who knows what they're doing, that actually drills the holes in the doors and has the wand and sprays it properly and plugs those holes with nice plugs afterwards. Fluid film was really good, but any name brand good under oil protectant is the best thing that you can probably do. All right, so the 602 is the predecessor to the 605, and 606 is the later year of the straight 6. They are a very efficient engine that you can get really good power to both of them. Both of them. Are you still talking about the 05 and the 06, or is the 02 also capable of like a little bit more power? I know nothing about the little 4-cylinder diesels in the old D50s. I didn't even know they had them, so I'd be interested to know more about them. So,
what do you think the GTO will be worth? Did you answer that?
What it's worth? It's very confusing. So we started out, the thing is, the car was a driver, so the bumpers aren't perfect, the chrome grille around the headlights isn't perfect. We got a whole new trim kit for it. The interior looks really good, and the bodywork will be amazing, but without replacing absolutely everything else, it's not going to be a 100-point car, and it never will be. I'm not Randy Klein. I'm not building a $150,000 car. We're not spending a month sanding the clear coat after we paint it. Not that you couldn't, or disassemble the car after we get it and still get that out of it. I'm hoping for a $50,000-$60,000 car, but we'll see when we're done. At the end of it, I made the video, and we got to redo that one a little bit. Can you make money flipping cars? This is a project for Hoogie and me. Hoogie has some physical issues that keeps him from being as active as I am, and it's a great project for the both of us because I think he enjoys hunting down the parts, and he is just an encyclopedia of knowledge on anything cars. And he really enjoys that aspect of it, where I just see a cool car, I'm like, that's a cool car. I have no idea what engine's in it. I don't know what it is. I don't know what year it is, but I'm attracted to it from the curves and the sound. And I can see one vehicle, and I can envision, okay, that would look awesome with a Duramax in it. That needs a Cummins. That needs, that's a good swap for that. And I can see that in my head, where a lot of people probably couldn't. But it's just a project that keeps both of us kind of excited about something to work on together, and the GTO is going to be worth $20,000 easy. I hope so, because we've got probably $20,000 of parts into it. so
Exactly.
So you're just saying that, like, all my time, probably the 500, 600, 700 hours that I've got into it is basically worthless. So in that case, we're keeping the car.
Can you make money flipping cars?
Probably not. So it'll be interesting to see what happens out of it. So the nice thing is that whoever buys the GTO can see exactly what was done to it start to finish. And the same with the Fleet Master. The guy could look at every video and say, you know what, I know there's no Bondo in it. I know they did this, and I'm honest. I'm like, I didn't replace the roof skin. I fixed this corner, but this is what it looks like underneath the paint. So we'll see what happens. So Angie, I've heard that I'm a dumbass because at one point I had all the parts to do that but didn't keep them. Do what?
It's just about this.
Oh, mine's the original. Nice. Alright, I could have even swapped the whole VTEC head, but I didn't have the harness or the ECU. Would you guys ever consider buying a right-hand drive Japanese sedan? Absolutely. Hoogie already had a Skyline, and he had the rarest Skyline in North America. He imported the only non-turbo Skyline in North America, so he sold that one pretty quick. But once the GTO, if the GTO sells, he'll probably end up buying another Skyline, and we'll take you guys through that whole process of bidding on Japan, and that's crazy over there. They export 25,000 vehicles a day. There's an auction going every day of the week, and they are just pushing to get all these old cars off of the island. So it's pretty cool. You have like 3 seconds to bid on something, and you need to have somebody over there looking at the vehicles for you, saying that one looks good, that one doesn't, that one sounds funny, that one's got a bad color exhaust coming out and whatever. So it's pretty neat. So, Colin, well, Rich, if and when I get that thing running, my dad and I agreed to run that into the ground and then after it's done and blown up, we're gonna 12. Nice. Best product for bringing back or trying to restore shine or faded paint. I'm not the right guy for that. I had good luck with mothers cutting, medium cut, and then different degrees of buffing pads. So we did that long before. I had a nice picture of the Firebird. The Firebird was like a really chalky paint, and it was terribly chalky, and I managed to get a decent shine out of it again without having to pay for a whole new paint job. So we met a guy that has a garage full of old cars, and we might be trying to get some shine out of it again. We'll be trying some different products, so stick around. Never thought that we'd be that channel, but we I don't know if you follow us on Instagram. There's a Rolls Royce in there. We'll be working on a Hudson this week, and prepping some cars for sale. It's an older gentleman that his health is leaving him, so he's got 30 cars, all beautiful, complete running cars that we just need to tune up a little bit. We're just gonna do one or two for now, see if we can make something work out of it, and then go from there. But we might try and polish some paint too yet. So it's different between like a 50s paint job and an 80s paint job and a mid-2000s paint job and a current paint job. It's all different techniques of painting and all different kinds of paint, different chemicals that are not allowed to be sold anymore, so they change it. So it's pretty interesting to see.
I think we're gonna head back over to Drive Tribe.
Okay.
We can answer questions in between.
Yeah.
But
I hope you guys enjoy the Drive Tribe. We get a kick out of your guys' vehicles and like this, the Miata half sunk in the lake and that.
Some more photos.
Yeah. So, like, it sucks when it's not your ride, but feel free, guys. That was beautiful. Feel free to post any of your projects on there, even the wheelbarrow, whatever. We enjoy it, and we use this
hydrographics. He did
nice.
Water dipping.
Nice. I tried that with the steering wheel on the Fleetmaster, and it didn't really work out. We tried doing the wood grain on the dash, and it was a mess. I ruined my kid's kiddie pool, and that's what it's all about, having a great time. Have a 4x4. That's cute. So, I hope you guys enjoy the Drive Tribe a little bit. We just like these to encourage everybody else to skis on the front. That's amazing. You guys are awesome.
Man. Is that what that was? Yes.
Yeah, he's got skis. And looks like it's all homemade too. So
nice.
Really cool.
Yeah. Actually, I think a good example of what the Drive Tribe has been able to do is even that van project, that 83 van swap. And just the constant updates every single month. Like we're seeing new, and he's never fails. He's constantly working on that thing, and it's kind of an accountability thing because you kind of want to get it done in order to put it back up on Drive Tribe.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
Oh, there we go. Nice. Yeah, so I really like that look. Ours was still in the step side box though, so we're gonna widen the step box on ours and then same tow rig. But that's really cool. Nice, complete, clean truck too.
Here's my ride. Saab.
Nice.
Toronto.
The Saabs were neat. That engine is so well balanced in those. You could lay your tool on it and it would not shake off. And I think it actually had counterbalances in some of the Saabs. I don't know too much about them, but I remember seeing one and I'm like, that engine is not moving at all. Really cool. There we go.
What do you think about the Dodge Ram 1500 Eco Diesels?
I've heard that the cam gear isn't keyed to the cam shaft, and they like to spin randomly and shove your valves into your pistons. I don't know if there's a fix for that. Somebody's got to have a kit out there for now that pull the gear off and put the proper key on it. Little horror stories like that. It makes me leery. I don't think I'd go out and buy one just yet. I've heard less horror stories about the 5-liter Cummins and the Titans. So, and I'm really excited to see what Ford and GM how they're going to hold up with the V6 Power Stroke and the V6 Duramax as well in the half ton. So pretty cool little era that's coming out. Even with the whole Volkswagen scandal, they're still coming out with more diesels. So I'm happy about that. So
this is a stock 5.9 power steering pump and 5.9 belt on a 5.7.
Nice. No, that's really cool. It looks really well done. Like the bracket's still the aluminum bracket, although I see, is that a big gap there? I think that's a big gap. that's a 3/8 bolt and a much larger hole. But if the belt stays on, who cares? Nice.
So what would this do? Like as far as
that took some working. How many different belts did you ask your supplier? I'm like, okay, give me an 86-inch belt. No, give me. I was way off. Give me a 92-inch belt. 93-inch belt? No, it's 92. I just got to change my rider. Ooh, nice.
Eldorado.
Nice.
What's going on here? Why is this called that?
It's still gas engine in it. It's not a rat rod. he just put the L upside down. I think that's all he did. Go back. Yeah, he just changed put the L upside down.
Texas.
So there's one of these at Canada's Worst Driver, and I think it'll go pretty cheap. I can't do it, but like the interior's mint. It's pink.
I know. I think there's more. People have been posting stuff since we've been talking.
Nice. So we were debating on whether to keep the tribe or not, or to change up the live chat at all. We're open to suggestions, but if you guys keep posting, then we're gonna keep going on it for now. We were hoping to do the live chats at my shop, but I just don't have good enough internet. And even like, nice, just buddies here. Everybody grab a corner, go. Who needs a hoist? So, nice. There you go, pulling the wake boat.
Oh, we got 67 GMC step side.
Nice.
Someone asked, what's the difference between a step side and a fleet?
I have no idea. Hoogie would know. That's what Hoogie's here for. That's one of those questions I'm like, I don't know. That's a step side to me, but yeah. Ask Google. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on. Any advice on a 95 Silverado? They're great little trucks. I try and go for the 90, 96, 97, 98 because they had the Vortec, which was a slightly better mileage than the 95. But 95s are great. Any of the old square bodies are great trucks, honestly. So if they're nice and clean, go buy it. Somewhere in the shed, I have a rear-wheel drive, rear-end axle, hubs, and drive shaft from a 91 wagon. That's awesome. It's like when you pick random comments that are having a conversation between other people. You're trying to join in. Is it possible to P-pump a Duramax? Well, if you somehow manage to mash two P-pumps together and add two cylinders, maybe. I don't think it's possible. Could you take... No, the timing's all off. I was going to say, could you take two 4BT pumps and turn it into a Duramax? Because you got 8 cylinders. The timing's all off. It's not going to happen. Say you wanted to run colored diesel in a Duramax for off-road application. Is colored fuel different? Colored fuel is a slightly lower grade, yeah. it's a slightly lower grade, so I'd be okay with doing it in like an old mechanical pump, but I don't know if I'd be putting it through anything with common rail injectors. So yeah, and you get caught with DOT and they're not gonna be happy. So I know off-road. Yes, I'm gonna go off-roading. I'm gonna save this Sunday afternoon. I'm gonna save $8 in diesel because I'm gonna run colored. So, funny story, at the farm show in Toronto or in London, one of the two, they were going around dipping all the farmers' trucks in the parking lot and finding people with pink fuel in the tanks.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh,
So I think
really?
they got in trouble for that because they're on personal or private property and
Yeah,
like
and without like a
yeah. So that was a big
Yeah.
stink, but they're pretty eager to get you sometimes. So
farm show. That's funny.
yeah, so that's one we haven't covered yet. I don't know. We went to the farm show years ago, and then we checked out Zubik's scrapyard at the same time. Went to school in London, Ontario, and then stayed with the Zubiks who own a scrapyard there. And it's a very efficient scrapyard in the way of they're the first ones importing equipment from Europe to dismantle cars. They've got the big Italian shredders. You throw a whole car in there, and the plastic comes out one end, the aluminum comes out the other, the tires come out the one, and then the steel gets left over. It's really cool. And it's all Centerbogan cranes and stuff there, so had a lot of fun tearing up a buddy's mom's CRV down in the river. Those things are a tank. Nothing like wrecking cars. So I run color in my Jetta. Shh, Joey. We won't tell anybody. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, next video. I have no idea.
No, we gotta talk about that.
It took a long time to edit these last two.
Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed those. It was really so you gotta understand how hard it is to edit for a guy that didn't come on the trip when we videotape something with no actual storyline. Like what are we trying to explain in this video? We're trying to have some sort of story, but all we're doing is killing time trying to pay for the trip somehow. If you guys want a clean box, we've got 3 6-foot Dodge 2nd gen boxes and one 1999 to current F250 box. The clear coat's peeling on them, and the one Dodge box has a little scratch on it, but for the most part they're clean boxes if you guys want those. K-frames for Pacificas and Calibers and Patriots, and fuse boxes for Ram trucks was the main thing that we towed home. But yeah, summer's here. I'm coaching soccer for my little girls team, so that keeps me busy one night. And then busy summer. All the upcoming events. Do you want to go over any of them? It'll be July for the next one.
Is the big one.
Yeah, so LS Fest definitely in September. That's the second weekend in September. Freddy's hinted that he was going to try and get another Project Car Challenge going in August, but he also said that there was going to be one in June, and that didn't happen, or May. That didn't happen, so we'll see what happens there. Regardless, the Audi will be at LS Fest. And yeah, we got some cool stuff happening with cars, but nothing's concrete yet.
CSCS.
Yeah, we'll be at CSCS, and the Mercedes should be there for that, unless something drastically goes wrong again.
All the events that we're going to be at are on our website, debossgarage.com/events. So everything is there, or will be, like we've been talking about, a couple meetups that we're going to add to that calendar this month. So look for that.
Yep. Other than that, thanks guys for watching, and the guys that contributed. That was insane. That really helps out. Pays for I live 40 minutes away from Aaron, so it's like a full night from like 7:30 to 10:30 by the time I'm home again. So appreciate you guys helping out and continuing to watch. And yeah, we'll see you next month. Oh, this is where you hit the
See you guys
exit
later.
button. See you guys.